Giovanni Bellini's The Frizzoni Madonna, 1460-1464, is a striking example of early Venetian Renaissance art that marks a significant step in Bellini's evolving style. Originally part of the Frizzoni collection in Bergamo, this painting was identified as a work by Bellini in 1891, the same year it entered the Museo Correr in Venice. Although it was initially executed as an oil-on-wood panel, it was later transferred to canvas, a process that has allowed its delicate details and luminous qualities to be preserved for contemporary viewers. In the Frizzoni Madonna, Bellini presents the Virgin Mary in a serene, contemplative pose, cradling the Christ child with a tenderness that exemplifies the maternal devotion central to Renaissance iconography. The figures are rendered with a quiet dignity and an intimacy that invites the viewer into a meditative state. Mary's gentle gaze and the calm, almost ethereal expression of the child underscore the harmonious interplay between human emotion and divine grace, a hallmark of Bellini's early work. The composition is characterized by a balanced arrangement of figures against a subtly rendered background. Bellini's meticulous attention to light and shadow creates soft transitions that enhance the three-dimensionality of the forms while imbuing the scene with a gentle, glowing atmosphere. This effect is achieved through his refined use of oil paint, a medium that he mastered to capture the luminosity of Venetian light. The muted color palette, featuring soft blues, gentle earth tones, and delicate whites, contributes to an overall sense of serenity and restraint, reinforcing the spiritual quality of the image. Moreover, the painting reflects Bellini's interest in integrating a naturalistic landscape with devotional imagery. The background, though understated, is rendered with a sensitivity to the natural environment, providing a context that is both intimate and expansive. This approach not only situates the sacred figures within a believable earthly setting, but also prefigures the later developments in Venetian landscape painting, where light and nature become integral to the emotional impact of the work. The Frizzoni Madonna is an important early example of Bellini's artistic development, demonstrating his ability to combine technical precision with deep, emotional resonance. By balancing classical composition with a sensitive treatment of color and light, Bellini creates a devotional image that is both timeless and profoundly human. This work not only testifies to his mastery of oil painting techniques, but also marks a crucial point in the evolution of Renaissance art in Venice, where the fusion of naturalism and spiritual expression came to define a generation of great masters. Giovanni Bellini's The Blood of the Redeemer, circa 1460-1465, is an early tempera-on-panel work that now resides in the National Gallery, London. This painting presents a powerful iconographic statement in which a young Christ is depicted as the Redeemer, emerging after the crucifixion as the quintessential man of sorrows, whose sacrificial blood saves the world from sin. In the composition, Christ is shown holding his cross and wearing the crown of thorns, his pallid, delicate features imbued with both sorrow and transcendent grace. An angel, rendered with attentive sensitivity, is shown collecting blood from a wound on Christ's side into a chalice reminiscent of those used in the Mass. This detail is especially significant, as it suggests that the panel might originally have served as the door to a church tabernacle where the sacred elements of the Eucharist, wine and bread, were stored. Such an association underscores the sacramental function of the work and deepens its religious resonance. Originally, Bellini's design included additional angels behind Christ, contributing to the multiplicity of divine witnesses in the scene. However, these angels were later painted out and replaced with clouds, a change whose motivation remains unknown. In the background, two bas-reliefs in an ancient Roman style provide further layers of meaning. While their exact significance is still debated, these antique motifs may hint at connections between pagan rituals and the salvific themes of the painting, reflecting a broader dialogue between classical heritage and Christian iconography. The overall structure of the painting reflects Bellini's early mastery of composition and his sensitivity to naturalistic detail. The panel's design, with its clear delineation of foreground figures, a carefully modeled spatial arrangement, and the subtle interplay of light and shadow, demonstrates how Bellini integrated a rigorous, almost sculptural treatment of form with a tender emotional expression. The work's original use of egg tempera allowed for delicate transitions and a luminous quality that anticipates the refined coloristic effects of later Venetian painting. An interesting technical note is that prior to a cleaning in 1978, the painting featured an unbroken tiled floor with layers of oil paint applied over Bellini's original tempera. The cleaning process removed these later additions, revealing the pristine surface beneath. Moreover, bare patches of gesso originally intended to be painted as clouds with red and blue angels accented with gold remind us that the work underwent alterations after its completion, the reasons for which remain uncertain. The blood of the Redeemer not only exemplifies Bellini's early innovative approach to sacred subjects, but also serves as a testament to his evolving technique. Through its intricate iconography, the painting encapsulates themes of sacrifice, redemption, and the mystery of divine grace, making it a significant milestone in the development of Venetian Renaissance art. Giovanni Bellini's The Greek Madonna, 1460-1470, is a tempera on panel painting that not only reflects the influence of Byzantine iconography through its decorative Greek monograms at the top corners, but also marks Bellini's early forays into the evolving aesthetics of the Italian Renaissance. This work masterfully blends tradition and innovation, revealing both a reverence for classical devotional imagery and an exploration of new stylistic techniques. At the center of the composition, the Virgin Mary is portrayed with a dignified yet gentle presence. She cradles the Christ child in a manner that conveys both maternal tenderness and divine serenity. The Christ child, depicted holding a golden apple, introduces an intriguing layer of symbolism. The apple is traditionally associated with the judgment of Paris in classical mythology, hinting at themes of beauty and desire, while also suggesting Mary's status as a new Venus. This duality enriches the iconography, merging pagan symbolism with Christian theology to create a multifaceted devotional image. Originally, some scholars, including Pellizzari, believed that the painting might have featured a golden background akin to traditional Byzantine icons. However, a thorough restoration in 1986-87 revealed that the original background was, in fact, a blue sky visible on either side of a central curtain. Although two gold stripes later obscured the sky in the 16th century, the restoration uncovered the true atmospheric quality intended by Bellini. The presence of the central curtain itself adds a dramatic frame to the scene, drawing the viewer's eye directly to the figures, while also creating a sense of intimacy and separation from the viewer's world. Infrared examination during the restoration further deepened our understanding of Bellini's meticulous technique. The study revealed that the panel was prepared with layers of glue and plaster, and that a detailed chiaroscuro underdrawing was present beneath the tempera layers. These technical elements, which are typical of Bellini's early methods, and are even mentioned in Paolo Pino's Dialogo di Pittura, 1548, highlight his commitment to achieving depth, form, and a delicate interplay of light and shadow. Compositionally, the Greek Madonna is a study in balance and harmony. The positioning of the figures, along with the decorative elements such as the Greek monograms, reflects Bellini's sensitivity to both the spiritual and the aesthetic dimensions of his work. The restrained palette featuring a refined interplay of whites, blues, and subtle earth tones creates a serene and contemplative mood. This deliberate use of color not only accentuates the luminous quality of the figures, but also helps to integrate the various symbolic elements into a coherent whole. Bellini's treatment of the landscape and background also deserves attention. The original blue sky, as opposed to a gilded backdrop, emphasizes naturalistic observation, a hallmark of Venetian Renaissance art. This approach reflects Bellini's familiarity with and love for the natural world, likely inspired by the landscapes of the Venetian countryside. In doing so, he moves away from the rigid, idealized settings of earlier Byzantine models toward a more authentic, atmospheric representation that would come to define his mature work. Historically, the Greek Madonna is significant not only for its artistic qualities, but also for its provenance. Once part of a private collection in Venice, its journey through various collectors, especially during the turbulent periods of Venetian history, underscores its enduring cultural and religious importance. The fusion of Byzantine motifs with innovative Renaissance techniques in this painting exemplifies the dynamic interplay of tradition and innovation that was characteristic of the period. The Greek Madonna stands as a testament to Giovanni Bellini's early genius. It combines intricate symbolism, delicate technical execution, and a profound understanding of natural light and space. Through its balanced composition, evocative iconography, and pioneering use of materials and technique, the painting not only honors the heritage of Byzantine art, but also anticipates the naturalism and emotional depth that would later come to define Venetian Renaissance painting. The St. Vincent Ferrer Altarpiece is a complex, multi-registered tempera-on-panel work that was originally commissioned for the altar dedicated to St. Vincent Ferrer at Santi Giovanni e Paolo in Venice. The altarpiece not only reflects Bellini's mastery of religious narrative and composition, but also embodies the fervor of a newly canonized Saint Ferrer, a Spanish Dominican whose cult was actively promoted following his canonization in 1455. The altarpiece's construction is traditionally divided into several registers, each contributing distinct thematic and compositional elements. In the central register, from left to right, the figures of Saint Christopher, Saint Vincent Ferrer, and Saint Sebastian are depicted. These saints, emblematic of protection and martyrdom, form the backbone of the altarpiece's devotional narrative, grounding the work in the themes of intercession and sanctity. Above the central figures, the upper register combines a Pietà with an Annunciation scene. In this composition, the Pietà, where a sorrowful Virgin Mary cradles the lifeless body of Christ, serves as a powerful symbol of sacrifice and redemption. Flanking the Pietà are two complementary scenes. On the left, the Archangel Gabriel, and on the right, the Virgin Mary in her role as the receptive messenger. This dual arrangement creates a dynamic interplay between the themes of divine annunciation and redemptive suffering. Originally, a lunette above the Pietà featured God the Father, toward whom Mary directed her gaze, a detail recorded in the mid-17th century by Bocchini, but now lost. Scholars note that stylistic differences among the canvases suggest that Bellini may have produced various parts of the altarpiece in stages. It is even possible that some sections, particularly the scenes depicting Ferrer's miracles on the predella, involved collaboration with another artist, perhaps